All right, good evening, everybody. Joe Repelny, principal here at Design39 Campus. We're super excited to have you with us, talking about our counseling and what makes learning awesome, that social emotional well-being. And I don't know, Casey, we might need to catch some of those buzzwords, right? Like empathy and pivot, but we're gonna stay focused here today and really talk about those amazing people that make us special. We're also gonna chat with our collaborative team here today. We got Bob and team and Casey, and Yash is just bringing us to the starting line of 39 Days of Giving. But to get us started, I wanna show one screen here. We had a call out for you last year, and you gave us some feed forward around Amy, Sage, and Ronnie in terms of that, what you're looking for in our new counselors. And this is what you shared with us. We want problem solvers. We want someone who has energy. We want them to be relatable, thoughtful, accessible, and responsive. And I could tell you, we have that plus so much more in Bianca and Ryan. Bianca, why don't you introduce yourself? And I know Ryan's going to join too. He's working 2 jobs. He's going to be at Islands today. He's going to actually call in from Islands. So if you need a good dinner, head on over to Islands. No plug there. All right, Bianca.
Wonderful. I'm going to screen share with everybody so you can see the presentation that we created together. I believe it is.
Yeah, you're looking good.
Oh, hold on. It just. All right. Well, okay. So hello, everybody. I wanted to say I'm so excited to be here. Normally, when I'm speaking in front of parents, I get to see your smiling faces, or possibly not, but I can read the crowd. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I am so excited to be here. I was trying to think, Bianca, why are you so nervous to present in front of these parents tonight? And I think I realized speaking to you virtually, it kind of comes across differently. And I want you to be able to authentically really understand, hey, Joe, Ryan's in the waiting room. I wanted you to be able to really authentically understand the passion that Ryan and I truly have. We care so deeply about our family members, and so we wanted that to be able to come across. Hey, Ryan, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let me
see. Hey, we just said that you're there at Islands. So why don't you go ahead and say hello, Ryan, and give us all about you in 5 minutes. And I know we're going to meet more of you in soon to be. So go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, everyone. So great to see everyone. I'm so sorry. I got scheduled work tonight. So one of my second jobs is I'm a bartender over at Island. So I'm sure I'll be seeing some of you guys pop in and out as the school year goes on. Feel free to say hello. Love to see your guys' face. I'm so happy for this opportunity. I grew up in Poway Unified. I went to school K through kindergarten through high school, and I just had so much support growing up. I did have a 504 plan, which I had some pretty bad ADHD growing up, and I just had a lot of supports set in place to help me. So just looking back, I just want to be able to contribute and help back and contribute back to our community and be there and be a support system. And Bianca and I are going to work together to be able to provide that for our students, also as well as provide support for our teachers. So good to be here. I look forward to meeting you as the year goes on and meeting your kids. And yeah, I'm just very excited to be here.
Thank you, Ryan. So I know you have to get back, so I hope you can bear with us for a little bit. But I'm going to take you now on to my page. So my name is Miss Bianca. I wanted to let you know that my superpower that I have developed over the years is empathy and relationship building. I truly feel that there is a lot that goes into being able to create deep, lasting connections with not only students, but staff and parents. And that plays such a huge role into being able to create a special classroom, a special setting for students to feel safe. Why did I become a counselor? Like Ryan just said previously, is he experienced a lot growing up. And for me, that catalyst was my brother, and his name was actually Ryan. So my brother had a pretty traumatic childhood growing up, and I saw the power that having someone to help guide you, be your champion, be that person, how much that really truly means. Schooling, Ryan and I actually both went to SDSU in Point Loma, so we share our alma maters.
Go Aztecs.
Woo-hoo, go Aztecs. So, sorry, I can only see a few amount of your, so many faces, so I don't know who's actually still with me. But my work experience is that I grew up in the classroom. My mom is a elementary school teacher. So where other people, we were able to play in the neighborhood, my mom worked late nights to be able to create special educations for her students. And so I built homework packets and I graded papers, and I did that all throughout my childhood. My aunts and my uncles were the teachers that were there on campus with me. So I have such a fond appreciation for teachers and everybody on the campus, because I truly understand the special role that they play in creating that environment for our students. So I want to let you guys know that family is huge to me. And so the experience that I've cultivated, I went to school for speech pathology. I've been in the classroom as a student teacher. I've worked in special education. All of these different things really truly help me appreciate the role that each and every single person plays in creating something monumental. I worked at High Tech High. I worked at Vista Innovative Design Academy, and all of that has brought me here to Design 39. And what that truly means is we're all design thinkers. Each of those schools played a special part in helping create this, the progressive, really truly life-changing experiences that we're creating for our students. And so each of those schools had we all have a aligned philosophy. And I want you guys to be able to know that in coming to your school, I know a little bit about what you guys are doing already, and I am excited. One fun fact about me is that I played softball my entire life. So I still play co-ed softball. A lot of the people on campus will see some of the cooking that I've done to bring the staff, because I enjoy making not only connections through our interactions, but through my food, because I believe that's a healthy part of establishing relationships. So that is a picture of my husband, my 2 dachshunds, and me. Obviously, I couldn't fit all my family in this slide, but what that I want to truly convey to you is family is everything to me. And now that I'm a part of Design 39, I am a part of your Design 39 family, and you're a part of mine. So I will truly do everything in my power in order to make sure you guys understand what that means. What we are hoping to accomplish. So our overarching goals are to encourage agency in students, create resiliency, and build upon the amazing foundation that you guys have already began in Design 39 for No Place for Hate and creating equity among our community. And one thing that really Ryan and I talked a lot about today is making sure that every single student knows that they have a champion. And I'll go into a little bit more about what that means. But because we're both brand new to Design 39, we wanted to take a step back and really decide what our main focus is going to be for right now at the beginning of the school year. So we want to foster relationships with everybody, our staff, our parents, our students, everybody that comes onto the Design 39 campus. We want to make sure that we are connecting with you, and that's going to take some time, and we want to do it truly and authentically. And that we provide support and safe spaces for all our students. We provide support to our teachers because they are in there day in and day out with our students, and that we're creating a space where all the students know they have at least, I know that they have plenty on Design 39 campus, but at least one person to go to. So Ryan said, challenge accepted, and I've got you guys on my mind. All right, so I keep having to move this little box around in here. Investigation and innovation. So Ryan and I were talking today, and we align a lot in our philosophy, but we have a joint passion and drive that stems from wanting to work with vulnerable youth so that every single student knows that they have a champion. What does that really mean? So we're always willing to try to innovate in order to meet students at their individualized needs in order to foster growth. So as someone who goes through a school counseling program, we realize that the ratio is not always where it needs to be. The Ask a National model actually says that counseling should be 250 students to every 1 counselor. We know that that's not something that's an attainable goal in every situation. So I spent my thesis thinking, how can I reach my students? And that's when it hit me. The one thing that I can do to make sure that every single student is met in I come across to them in one way or another is my big light bulb moment was to see what I can do in getting, they're called facility dogs, but service dogs on school campuses. That helps foster the relationship that a counselor has with students, that helps reach a lot more than just what we can do one-on-one. Now, that's an idea that I have and something that I hope to move forward with in the future. And we'll see where that idea goes. But I want to let you guys know that Ryan and I are always thinking outside the box to figure out what we can do to make Design 39 a better place for our students. So when I said every single student needs a champion, what I meant was that we want to make sure that they have an adult who will never give up on them, understands the power of connection, and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. And that a counselor understands that every single student's needs are different and that we meet them at where they are at in order to meet their desired goals. So everybody's different in where they're at in the world, and we need to make sure that we think about that when thinking about how do we create plans for our students. How do we help meet their needs? I have a video that I linked in on there. Depending on how much time I have, we can play it at the end, or you guys can get back to it when you have your own time. But it's a TED Talk by Rita Pearson, where she talks about what it truly means that every single child needs a champion and what she has seen and done. And it's truly powerful. And after watching that video, I think you'll all be able to understand where my heart is, where Ryan's heart is, and what we want to do for Design 39. So some planned resources that we have. So we have been working on a counseling website, an Instagram page, Google Voice numbers, parent education, the Canvas that Ronnie and Amy were working on before. But most importantly, we want you and your children to really fully understand in the things that we do and the whys that we have, that we care. We're going to care about you today, we're going to care about you tomorrow, and we're going to care about you when you leave our campus. And we want to leave that lasting impression so that you know you always have somebody. And those are our pictures that we took today. So some information you might want to save. Mr. Hicks, his Google Voice number is going to be 858-376-3855. He will be with Design 39 on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. My Google Voice number, 760-705-4353. And I will be on campus Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I met with we all met together today as a team, and wow, you have some teachers who are working so incredibly hard. And we give all ourselves to our students and our families. And we will do what I want to make sure you guys understand. We will do our best to get back to you in a timely manner. But in case maybe something happens, please just call us back, email us back and say, hey, did you forget about me? I'm right here. And I promise I'll get right back to you. Having counselors that are only 3 and 4 days a week, we have a lot going on. So please bear with us as we do our best. So Joe shared the SurveyMonkey data with us, and what we were these 2 questions stuck to us, and it was really powerful how much you guys cared about Amy and Ronnie. It's truly felt in those answers. So when thinking about counseling at Design 39, what matters most to us and to you as we read through your questions is that you want that social emotional learning for the students. We heard you, and we're going to do our best. We want counselors that are available and that assist in the virtual learning experience. That means everything that you guys were thinking, we were all on the same page. Just want to let you guys know that. And as we hire Joe back then, what were you guys looking? Somebody wanted a clone of Amy and Ronnie. I fully understand why. They're amazing. And Joe, when you posted that collage earlier, thank you for feeling like Ryan and I are people that convey those characteristics. I want you to understand Ryan is phenomenal. He's a hard worker. You guys are going to love him. I'm okay sometimes. Let's hope you guys love me too. But we will do our best. We know that we have big shoes to fill. Amy and Ronnie worked their bottoms off to make your students know that they were cared for. And we truly understand that we will do our best to be empathetic as much as possible, resourceful, and relatable. Whenever you encounter us, I really already know that we'll be laughing together and we will be a team and we will do the best for each and every one of our students. So when thinking about social media, you guys are probably like, why does Bianca feel that social media is so important? Something that Joe said that was really important is that the students wanted to find a way to access information, to relate to their peers that was a little bit more authentic. And I have been thinking a lot about this. And when creating a social media page, what I really feel is that it helps build rapport with the community. Because how many times do you instinctively, without even realizing it, get on your phone and start scrolling, right? And then you have those subliminal messages going through. Well, I want to use that power and harness it to be able to give you guys strategies in an authentic way to expose students naturally to something that they may be like, oh, I remember Miss Bianca said something. What was that? I'm going to go back and look at it and then see everything else that is on there. And then I really want the students to see our fun side. We're going to be doing fun, goofy things. We're going to be having brain breaks, just different ways to be able to access our students because they're not with us on campus. So that social media page is D39 Counseling. Now, if you go right now and you add it, you will see it's blank, but that's because we want to go through this journey together and we want students to really be able to see it build. So another thing that we've been working on is the Design 39 Counseling Center. It is under construction, so we will give you guys that link in the newsletter as soon as we feel it's beautiful for you. But Ryan is a hard worker, and we've been at it for a while, even though today's only technically, Joe, our second day.
I was just going to mention that. This is, guys, day 2. So clearly they've been working a lot longer than 2 days, so this tells you the kind of people that we hire. We hire unapologetically the right people.
Thank you. Okay, so usually the students are on campus with us. So we're able to walk them through different things. But right now, guess what? They're at home with you. So what does this mean? Right now, we are going to not only educate our students, but as counselors, we would love to be able to educate you as well. And not only educate you, but have a reflection piece that follows that up. So for the next 8 weeks, we will be sending out in Design 39's newsletter. It is a parent education through Ashford University. It's called The Dog Ate My Nest. And then after we send that out, we're going to have a follow-up discussion where we'll be able to meet with whoever wants to come join us in order to reflect, share ideas and thoughts and questions. I feel like that facilitation and that communication that we have is really powerful, not only learning something, but really being able to make sure it stays with us. So those are some of the examples on the screen of what the different topics will be about. After those 8 weeks, we'll stop or we'll reevaluate what was powerful to you as parents and maybe what are some things that we want to look into moving forward and really get your buy-in. Voice and choice is really important to us. So with that said, we created some Padlet questions so we can take in what you guys are really thinking at this current moment. We created 3 questions. Please don't hold back. We want to truly and authentically hear what you have to say so that we can have your input in mind when thinking about how to move forward and create a counseling program that is going to be most impactful to our families. We've done the same with teachers, and we want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. Joe, on to you.
Wow. What do you guys think? Pretty amazing people, right? So surely this is day 2 of their actual on-campus time. Yet they've been with us for quite some time thinking about how to make learning awesome. And you could see how we at Design 39 are really value that feed forward. So all the way back to June when we asked you that data, here we are using it today. How do we hire for that? How do we now design for that? And how do we now implement towards that? So this bias towards action that Bianca and Ryan are showcasing is just so fabulous. So again, appreciate you, Bianca. Thank you, Ryan. And this is just the start. So there was a couple questions in the chat. So this whole idea, what's the 3/14? You had it.
Oh my goodness, I totally forgot to share that. I'm so sorry.
You can count on our parents to hold you accountable.
Oh, yeah. So Pi Day, I got married on Pi Day. Right before the school closed, yeah, I like to say my love will go on forever, just like pie. We had little pies at our wedding. So that was something amazing that I got to. Everybody loves to say that I closed down the United States with my wedding, but I wanted to share that that's what I was talking about as far as family. 314, we got married, and you guys are going to be just as important to me, and me making sure I develop that relationship with you.
And then there was about just Google Voice, the purpose of Google Voice around, yeah, it's like a soft phone, right?
Yeah, so it's a app that we're not in our offices, and I want to make sure that you have a way to be able to connect with us. So this is just another means of communication so that you can have something, you can text us on it, you can call us on it, just like an office phone. We might not be able to get to it right away, but we know that you are thinking about us and we are thinking about you, and we will get back to it as soon as possible.
Fantastic. So I'm going to put this Padlet up. This is you'll see in the chat box, and Harmina is watching the chat on YouTube. So our YouTube live friends, I'll put that in the chat box there as well. So the 3 questions that you're really interested in, digging in a little bit deeper and helping to design around that.
Yes. So the 3 questions that Ryan and I thought long and hard about, there's a lot of questions that we have, I promise you. But what do you feel are the best ways to connect with your children and yourself so that you feel comfortable connecting with us? So there's plenty of ideas that Ryan and I have had, but we want your voice and choice in the matter. You know your students and children best. So what are some ideas that you have as far as connecting with them so that we can make the most amount of impact? The second question is in regards to virtual learning. As we reflect backwards and forwards, what do you feel is most important in supporting your students' academic, social, emotional needs inside and outside the classroom? Right. So where we were before school closed, where we were during from March until June, and where we are after summer and now, a lot has changed. So we want to make sure we stay in tune with what's going on currently. And our last question is, it is very important to us that we listen first and hear your voice. What are some things that you really want us to know? So any burning questions, thoughts, comments, whatever you feel is going to be imperative in creating a beautiful counseling program. We want to be able to get your feedback because I hope you know that you're part of the team.
All right, I was just pushing, let's see. Fantastic, I was just pushing it out on the other one. You got ahead of me, you're so quick and efficient. So there it is, the Padlet on the wall there. We have, looks like about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna open it up to our collaborative and move into some really exciting opportunities. So anything from our families there regarding Bianca and Ryan? What I really appreciate is having that male and female influence and having that opportunity to look at it from that early primary all the way up to middle school experience. And with that great lens on co-designing with you. So we'll open up here for 5 minutes from our families.
Yeah. Before we get some questions in, I just have to say, Connor, I love seeing your face and your smile. You just like the Grinch. You made my heart grow like 20 a million times bigger. So just know I'm seeing you. I think I'm seeing a couple students. And
Stella too. I know Stella's gonna rock it, right?
Yeah. Right? I was like, I knew.
All right, so Casey, did that warm your heart, like as a collaborative president, knowing what we're investing in from 39 Days of Giving coming up? Like, is this worth it?
It's so worth it. Thank you so much, Bianca and Ryan. Like, you know, this is why we're here. It's the social emotional learning is so important.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Any questions, friends?
Does that mean I did a good job?
Question.
All right, David.
Stella has a question.
Hi, I'm kind of a regular, which is a weird thing to say. But anyway, so if an LGBT student approaches you having troubles with classmates or like a personal problem, how would you react to that?
Can I just say I'm amazed that you have the confidence to be able to ask that question right now. And already, Connor and Stella, you guys are amazing because you came and you had your voices heard. So I just want to let you know, I love my regulars. They're some of my favorites, so I get what you're saying. Every student's needs are individualized, and I will take what you have going on at your moment to decide what works best for you so that we can work together through what's going on. I don't want to give you a blanket example because you know what? Every single day is going to be different, but I promise you that either Mr. Hicks or I will be there with you every single step of the way to make sure you feel empowered, cared about, and heard.
Excellent.
And we're going to laugh the entire time too. So any hard thing that you're going to go through.
Stella's an amazing artist as well, so I think you'll like that about her.
Well, I hope to get some.
That's an art, girl. I get it. I know. All right.
Hey, Joe, we need to post the Padlet in the YouTube link for the YouTube folks as well, FYI.
Beautiful. And I don't know if I emphasized enough, you as a team have been doing such an incredible job to pave the way for no place for hate and equity among all our students. So Stella, when you brought up that question, I want you to know that that no place for hate and that equity, it applies to everybody and everything that we're going through. And I want to make sure that the parents know you're heard, and we're going to be your allies and your champions and making sure our students' needs are met, whatever those needs may be.
Brandy McGuire.
Thank you. So my name's Bryn McGuire. We're actually brand new to the school. Both my kids are coming from Westwood Elementary. Well, I guess my oldest one went to Bernardo Middle. So they're coming in, and I'd like to understand, being new to the school and new counselors, how are you going to be able to select, I don't know, what kids get served and how that process works? Because my youngest one, he is a fierce individual and has passion. And he was counseling services at his other school. So how would you engage that and select and what program he could be a part of?
Thank you for sharing.
Brandy, you're making her earn her money. I like it. Good job.
I like it. No, I want you guys to know what we're going to do. So you basically just described Ryan right now, my partner, Mr. Hicks. He is so eager to get down and dirty and get in the weeds with all our students who are those powerful individuals, as am I. I don't want to make it sound like I'm not. But with that, we take your input. We have to hear what the teachers are seeing and saying. We have to hear what you're seeing and saying, because we're virtual right now. Your voice matters. So if something is going on and something that you're concerned about, you have to, and that's why I said the relationship piece matters. I want you to know that you can come to us and we're going to sit and listen, and we're going to be that team player to figure out what to do. We have, Joe, can you, I know that you guys wanted to balloon up to 1,300. How many students do we have?
We're at 1260.
1260, and we have 2 counselors, 3 and 4 days. So with that said, it's all we have. We try to make sure that we streamline communication so that we're going to have a teacher referral and a parent referral, so that when you guys see something, whether it's about your own child or another child, and you're bringing up a concern, that we have a centralized place to be able to get that information, make sure that it's seen and someone has accessed it. And if it's an emergency, please always let us know it's urgent. But your children, if there's a need or if they just want someone to say hi to and smile with, we're going to meet them in some capacity.
Thank you very much. And I do have, and this is just a general question, I don't know who to go to for this one, but in his old school, the teacher just decided not to do an IEP for him because he's hearing and visually impaired. So how do I get that started in a new school? He's going into 2nd grade. So 1st grade, they kind of were going with the flow to see what he would need.
So reach out to you personally, Brandy, for that, and we'll take that offline.
Perfect. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. So Hermina, I know you're making note of that. Thank you. All right. So Connor or Elliot, any kind of final closing thoughts for our counselors?
Ooh, and
Elliot.
Hi,
hi.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Elliot.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Elliot, for being here and saying hi. I'm trying not to cry because it's been so long since I've seen a student's face, and to see all these new faces, I'm so overwhelmed with joy and appreciation that you have shared your evening with us. And I'm so excited to get to meet you and figure out a way to say hi to all of you.
Yeah, okay. Okay, go ahead.
All right,
I
Connor.
appreciate you. And I don't know what your name is though.
Bianca. My name is Miss Bianca, and the other counselor is Mr. Hicks, and I'm sending you a big old heart right there. Right, oh, right back at me, thank you.
Connor, are you ready, Connor? You're gonna close it out for us, big guy.
Yeah. My ending statement is that I said hello too late. So I was gonna say hello, but I don't know what to say because that's too late to say hello. Although I do have one question.
Yeah.
So you have been saying Miss Bianca, but should we call you Miss Bianca or should we call you Miss Kin? I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but like, should we just say Miss Bianca or what?
You know what? You can do what's comfortable for you, whatever you remember, or you can go, hey, let's smile and have fun together. I'll stop and see if you want to smile together. So I always go by Miss Bianca, just because I like my name. But my new last name is Visser. So it's actually not Connor.
Oh, okay.
It's not what you'll see in my email. So you can remember, I'm just going by Bianca in case it changes later on.
Bianca's definitely easy to remember, so I'm just going to do that.
And good. Okay, I can remember Connor too. Connor and Elliot and Stella.
Perfect. Big round of applause for our counseling team. And we're just getting started. Yes. Bianca, thank you. I know you have time with your family now too, and your lovely dogs. And how cool was that innovation around thinking about a therapy dog on campus? Interesting. Yeah. So, right, I think this is a perfect segue. You clearly see we don't have enough counseling time, and that's why we really need your support. This thing doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens because we have our parents who get behind us, who say, let's just look at this counseling center. Let's get these supports and intervention. Let's get these resources and professional development for our teachers. So with that, we have an amazing team that we want to do some quick introductions. It's our collaborative. Casey Meter, would you be so kind to say hello? And Yash, who's getting us to the starting line.
Hi, everyone. I'm Casey Meter, president of the collaborative. I have Bob and Yash on the call with me today. I think we'd like to start off the call by showing a video about the 39 days of giving.
All right, you're putting me on pressure here, and I need to get
Sorry.
that running here. All right, let me pivot over. All right, this looks like it, Casey.
That's it.
Hi, Design 39 Campus. I'm Joe Repelling, your principal. I'm lucky to be together with
Casey Meter, president of the collaborative.
And you know, the collaborative is more than just one person, and the school is more than one person. It's about all of us gathering together, and we need your help. We have 39 days of giving coming up.
Our goal for the 39 days of giving this year is to raise $200,000. But more than that, we really want 100% participation from our parent community. Every dollar counts and every donation is appreciated. Our theme this year for the collaborative is focus on what matters: learning, community, and safety. So our fundraising efforts will go to these three areas.
Yeah, focusing on what matters. Thanks, Casey, for that. Because what we've noticed already is that you have already invested in our community. So we had our teachers who have been gathering together over 6 hours, and then you guys funded them. And that's going to make a huge difference for virtual learning. And so it does require 100% participation. So we're counting on you during 39 days of giving. It's not just about academics, it's about safety,
Community.
and community. And we have the best community here. So please join us in this call to action, 39 days of giving.
Thank you in advance for your support. We really appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Oscar winning.
I say so. That's why I wore my hat. I need a haircut.
I need some highlights.
Bravo.
So Casey, I want to just leave it to you guys to kind of kick it off and get us ready for 39 days.
Great. Joe, if we could start the slide deck, that would be awesome. Welcome, everyone. Our goal for the remainder of the Zoom is really just to inform our parent community where your money goes. Every year we have the 39 Days of Giving fundraising drive. And we really want to be transparent and tell our parents just how impactful all their money is and how important it is to the school. This is really less of a presentation and more of a discussion. So please use the chat box. Any questions you have, please ask away and we'll address them. And yeah, without further ado, let's move on to the next slide. The collaborative came up with a mission statement last year. It's empowering a purposefully engaged campus to create a culture of impact. So during this presentation, we really want to focus on where our fundraising money goes to, but we also want to give you a little sneak peek into our plans for the year as the collaborative, which are honestly constantly changing because that's just 2020, but as we see it today. And so our theme as the collaborative for the year is focusing on things that matter. When talking to people in the community, during quarantine and the coming months after, there were the hard things relating to quarantine, but also there were some silver linings. Like, for example, people were spending more time with their families, having dinner together more often. People were talking about how they really appreciated being less busy and doing less driving. And so when discussing our theme for the year, we really felt like focusing on what matters is what everyone's doing in their homes and in their lives. They're really trying to eliminate some of the things that they decided were unnecessary and focusing on what's really impactful and really important. And so the collaborative is no different. We want to do the same thing this year. We really want to focus on what matters. And so to us, that was learning, community, and safety. And so in terms of learning, we were able to pivot and really kind of reevaluate and start from scratch and look at our budget and where we wanted to spend money. And we realized that maybe having 2 full-time Minds in Motion teachers, LEDs, was not appropriate for virtual learning. And so what we did was we took some of the money that normally goes into that. We still have money for that for when we do return on campus, but we took some of that and we put it into professional development for the LEDs. And so what we've been able to do already for the LEDs is give each of them 6 hours of professional development time together so that they could prepare for the upcoming year. Joe was sharing earlier, like, there's other schools and other teachers that still don't know what grade they're teaching. And here our LEDs not only know what they're teaching, know their class roster, but also have been able to spend quite a bit of time preparing. And we've shown as a community that we value their time and we appreciate them. And we've been able to compensate them for 6 additional hours of that prep time in addition to what the district pays them. Another thing that's really important that we spend money on is supplies. Every LED is given a budget of $800, and that can go from very basic supplies like pencils, pens, paper, to something very creative projects, something, a design project that they want to do. And this year is no different. Even though we're in virtual learning for at least the beginning, they each still have access to that budget. And I know that they're already planning and they're already purchasing things so that parents don't need to go to Target still this year. Like every student will receive what they need to learn, and that's all funded from the collaborative. Another important area is educational subscriptions. We have lots of really powerful subscriptions that will be very important for virtual learning. This includes Lexia, Literally, Altitude Learning, Capstone, Books, and Brain Pop, and so much more. So we're very appreciative that we've been able to give our LEDs everything that they've asked when it comes to educational subscriptions for our children. Now I'm going to turn it over to Bob, who's going to talk about the community element of our budgeting and fundraising.
Thank you, Casey. Good evening, everyone. I think more than ever, the collaborative feels that community is even more important and takes on a new additional depth for all of us. Given the fact that because of this pandemic, we're not able to be together as often or as we normally would for face-to-face interactions and engagement together as a community. So we want to make sure we continue to invest in that, assuming that this pandemic's not going to stick around forever and we will be able to spend more time together face to face. In the meantime, we want to make appropriate investments to support virtual community activities and campus-wide activities. We all still want to learn about each other and learn from one another and be able to build this amazing community and diverse community that we have at D39C that attracted my family, for example, and probably a lot of you out there, and also keeps you coming back. And I think as most of you have seen in a lot of the forums that we have, whether it's on Facebook or somewhere else, it's about community. And that's what helps us build our strength and so many superpowers that everybody brings to bear. So we are keeping our funding consistent with what we've done in the past for community. And we will have some flexibility and fluidity whenever we're able to get back on campus again, that we can move funds around to wherever it makes sense. But in the meantime, we want to continue to support virtual community activities as well. We want to invest in the Welcome Center. That's the first impression that all of our guests have of our campus when they come on site, and then continue to provide appropriate funding to take good care of the staff and the LEDs and everyone else, as well as give the classroom ambassadors the ability to still have some smaller face-to-face meetings and play dates within a classroom, and obviously do it following the directions and guidance that allow it to be a safe get-together. So community continues to be at the top of our list and one of our core values. And Joe, if you don't mind moving on to safety. Thank you. From a safety point of view, obviously, that's something that's top of mind for all of our families, the safety and the health and the well-being of all of our families, as well as our D39C community, the LEDs, the staff, and everyone else. So we are going to get some degree of PPE from the district, but we've also budgeted an appropriate amount of monies to fill the gaps of wherever we fall short, to ensuring that we can create the most safest environment possible at D39C for everyone in our community, the LEDs, our kiddos, and everyone else as well. Something else that we're very proud of this year is creating a new chair for equity and inclusion. And we've put in specific funding around equity and inclusion education, not only for the students, but also for the parent community as well. This, again, is another one of our core values at D39C, and values that we strive to instill into the fabric of our community, as well as into our kiddos, so they grow up to be amazing citizens of this world. And then last but not least, traffic, on-campus safety, motion managers. When we are able to come back on site on campus, we want to make sure that that funding is in place to continue to make it a safe environment, to get everybody to school on time and safely without any issues or hiccups. And Joe and Yash, I'm going to introduce Yash Singh, who's our fundraising chairperson this year, along with Jonathan Seaton. And Yash, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Bob. Hi, everyone. Thank you, firstly and foremost, Bianca and Ryan. It is the first time I've seen you guys, even though it's virtual. Enamored by everything that you guys have said. I look forward to meeting you guys in person soon. Thank you so much for coming on board. I have a single child who's entering into a third grade, and this is my second year in Design 39. And I chose to dedicate some of my time to volunteer for the collaborative. And part of that is not only to raise funds, but everything else we need to do as a community, as Bob and Casey have pointed out. It is so important that we fill the gaps in places where we need to make sure the kids get everything they need. Now, said that, in the collaborative, we only raise money once a year, and we promise that that's the only time we ever raised money, and we have kept to our word from what I understand, even prior to my being a part of the collaborative. So please take this fundraising effort very seriously. We're going to launch it as soon as school opens. The portal is wide open right now, so you can start donating as soon as you want. We already got some people that have thrown money in there, but it's only going to last till about 39 days after school opens, and then we're done. And then whatever money we have is what we're going to live with for the rest of the year. So if we fall short, we're going to have to adjust things. And that's how we keep pivoting, but we hope we can meet the goals that we have set out for ourselves. As a collaborative, we run very lean. As you can see in this slide here, literally everything that is done is through the time that people are volunteering. Our taxes are done by volunteers. We maintain a very low overhead. We might take a little bit longer to do things, but it's so that we save money for the things that are essential that Joe and team and Casey point out towards. So everything we do is to make sure the maximum amount of money goes towards the kids. This is it. This is the operating funds that we have as a collaborative to raise all the other cash that's needed to fund the goals that Casey has laid out, Casey and Bob. Next slide, Joe. So as Casey indicated in our opening statement in the video, we're trying to raise around $200,000 in this fundraising effort. Now that's the money that you would pledge towards the collaborative. And if we maintain the same ratio as we have done the last few years, in most cases, employers will match up to around $40,000 to $50,000. We hope it's $50,000. And that comes from those of you who are employed in companies like Qualcomm, Illumina, Microsoft, and so on, that will 100% match your contributions. So please think about that. Let us know if your company does match funds, so we make sure we can reach out and follow up and try to get those funds as well. Now, because last year we pivoted towards a virtual learning experience, we did have some reserves that carried over. And so that will help us this year, but that is not gonna fulfill everything that we need to do, as Casey and Bob have pointed out. So if we look at the total amount of money that we actually need for everything we've laid out, it's about $294,000. But it's important that we raise these $200,000 through the pledges that each one of you will make. Our coffers are open. We're ready to accept money as soon as you guys are able to. The earlier, the better, because it helps us fund things that the LEDs are going to need as soon as schools open. There are a lot of things that we're still juggling with. The new tools, the new ways of teaching that counselors are having to adapt. The LEDs need to go through additional professional training in some instances because of the way that we're now teaching the kids. So it's really, really important. We know and realize this is a tough year, but please understand that because of that very fact, your funds, your donations are even more important to us. Thank you so much. And with that, I'll hand it over back to Casey.
Thanks, Josh. Yes, we need your help. But before I get to that, I just wanted to answer a question that came up in the chat. There was a question about the Welcome Center budget. Basically, the Welcome Center budget can be anything from like the little expenses, like the music that's played, to like bigger expenses that when Joe just sees a need, like for example, at 8th grade graduation, we realized we needed a new speaker system. So that'll come out of the Welcome Center budget. And in the past, I think we've also bought drinking fountains. It's really more general campus needs. And then moving on to We Need Your Help. Yeah, we really appreciate every donation. We have our suggested donation amount, which is $539 per child you have at the school. But really every donation matters. Every dollar counts towards our goal. We really, really appreciate anything and everything. And really at the end of the day, if we could look at our fundraising campaign and see that we got 100% participation, that would make us so pleased, and we would feel very successful. Additionally, we just need volunteers in general, the collaborative and the classrooms. So to summarize, our goal is 200,000. We officially launch on the first day of school, and it ends on October 10th. Again, 100% participation. You're going to hear it over and over again. Everything is a meaningful donation. And we need volunteers as well. Not only is our parent community extremely generous with their money, they're also extremely generous with their time. We have wonderful volunteers, and this year is no different. Even though it looks different, we still need you. We need classroom ambassadors, which to our new families, that's the room parent. We need people to help plan staff appreciation, because we all appreciate our LEDs so much. We need corporate sponsors and passive fundraising, and we also need level 2 volunteers for virtual learning, because they can help with breakout sessions. So yes, we need volunteers, and we encourage you to either, contact the collaborative or contact your LED with those opportunities. Thank you so much for your time. Any questions, comments, please feel free to contact us. I'm president at design39collaborative.org. Yash is fundraising at design39collaborative.org. Please feel free to email us. We always appreciate ideas and input from our parent community.
Casey, there was a question from Victoria regarding the Amazon Smile link. So I just put it in the chat window. You will need to go in there, Victoria, and choose Design 39 Campus as your charity, so it goes to the right place.
Thanks, Bob.
No problem.
Harshal, thank you for your donation. Appreciate it.
Did we get a live donation? Thanks, Harshal.
Pretty close.
Any other questions from anybody regarding 39 days of giving? Anything else we can answer for you? As Casey and Yash both shared, it's the lifeblood of our school. We strove to get 100% participation last year. We actually improved by 10 percentage points. We went from somewhere in the 50s to the high 60s. So again, we're going to shoot for 100%. And please give whatever you can. Those of you who can be more generous, please be more generous. Get your companies to donate. Do the corporate match. Every single penny counts, especially in this year, more than ever. So we're grateful to your generous support.
And by the way, if there's any questions that anyone has with regards to how we spend the money after today's session, please feel free to reach out to either Bob or Casey or myself. We'd be more than happy to explain in detail any questions that you might have. So if something pops up later as you watch the YouTube or you watch the slide, I noticed somebody asked if there's a link, please feel free to come back to us.
Scott had asked for the tax ID number. We'll get that for you as well, and send it over to you, Scott.
I'm getting it right now.
Thank you, Casey. And then there's some questions about Ralph's and Vaughn's. We do participate in both of those programs as well. So please do link your Ralph's card and your Vaughn's card to D39C so we get that money as well.
Hey, Yash, this is Jay. I had a question.
Yes.
Do you guys have PayPal or Venmo or anything else? I only see credit card and something called Plaid, which I'm not very familiar with.
You should be able to. I made my donation a couple of days ago using a direct bank transfer, ACH. So the two options are credit card or ACH, but it's a good question because I believe when I looked at the donor box webpage, they do even go as far as accepting Apple Pay. I don't know how they do it, but why don't we get back to you on that, Jay, and we'll post that on the donor box webpage. if there are other options like Venmo and so on that we can accommodate.
Thank you.
Yash, I have a question. Is there a specific link for corporate contribution? I mean, do we have to go separately through another link?
You don't. It's all built into Donor Box. So once you make your donation Donor Box, then it'll prompt you and ask you if you'd like to make if you'd like to put in your company's name, and it'll automatically take you to something called Donor Match, and then you can complete it all in one fell swoop.
And then it's up to us to follow up, but that we will do, of course.
And Susan Ross, Amazon Smile, it's called the D39C Collaborative for Amazon Smile.
We have a question about the educational subscriptions and when those will be available. Those will be available probably when your learners start school. The LED will help your students log in and give you the information for that.
By the way, Liz posted that get the word out to your friends. Sharing is caring, because a lot of your friends and grandparents and aunts and uncles and aunties and everybody else who love your kiddos and want to support your family, they are always happy to donate as well. So share the love. Thank you, Liz.
Wow, amazing. Big thanks to Yash and team. So big round of applause, because that's what helps us keep this thing moving. Truly a one of a kind at Design 39 campus. We had all of our staff gathered together today, and what we say is our ordinary is extraordinary, and that's another evidence here where it looks ordinary, but it's truly extraordinary. And Bob, Casey, Yash, everybody who donates, and it's not just time and talent, and also the resources to make this happen. So really thank you. It's just quite humbling to be in this space and to be able to provide these great resources to our students. And you can see, I think the reason that happens is we look at that feed forward and then we implement it and we make it happen. So it's really like this symbiotic relationship between what our parents are hoping to accomplish. So I think we're here at closing at the end. So I do just maybe some last little updates. Some messages have been going out around, are we starting school, the 14 days and all that kind of stuff kind of makes it a little bit complex. We are starting virtual. We've been pretty consistent with that message from the beginning. We'll be virtual learning. You have your homeroom teachers. We're super excited about that. My wife, who teaches at Turtleback, doesn't even know who she's teaching, and that's today. So you need to know that this is pretty unique. I got a text from my supervisor today and said, you don't need to turn in that plan. Well, because we already have a plan. And that plan happened because of all the work that happened way beforehand so that we can actually focus on what matters, and that's learning. And so school is going to be going minimally through September. I don't see anything pivoting through there. We'll be watching what the board is sharing. The original goalpost was January, and now that goalpost may look in October or November. The reality is we'll be able to make that change right away because we're making those connections early, and then we'll get kids on campus when the time is right. We'll have the right safety procedures. So just know that we're well positioned to keep our kids learning. And that's the number one thing, right? Is that we're going to embrace the challenges, the ambiguity, and head forward in a direction. And like Disney said, around here, we don't look behind us too often. We keep moving forward. And that's the thing that we do best. So super excited. Our team is rocking and rolling. And part of it is we're having this balance of self-care. And I think it's really important that all of us, you as parents who are going to be our champions at home teaching with their kids, we can't underestimate the value that you provide to our students and to this partnership. So really appreciate you. Our primary educator is you, the parent. And that's why we want to keep investing in you. We're going to have some opportunities pretty early on. It's called Thrively. It's a way to look at our strengths finder for our kids and resources to support that. That's going to be on the 17th of September. We're actually having the CEO of that company talk directly to us because they're looking at Design 39 as this like ecosystem of awesomeness. I just made that up. So the reality is that we just are going to keep supporting each other, and we need all of us together. The one thing that I want to talk about a little bit that we're putting on the table, the LEDs and teachers and staff are bantering this idea around, is around the first day of school. We want it to be the first day of school. So I'm not going to do some other like little go pick up your things here. And on the first day of school, you're going to come on campus, drive through, kind of like what we did at the end of last year, drive the cars through, have different locations, get your materials, meet the teachers, maybe have a photo booth, balloons, whatever. We're going to keep designing that out with the collaborative and the teachers. So plan on the first day of school being the first day of school. It's not going to be Zoom first day of school. It's like drive on in, let's get on the campus, let's be excited, let's celebrate. So look forward to that. Don't have a lot of plans yet. We're going to make it happen. And then lastly, when we do come back on the campus, I want to just plant this seed in terms of when we come back on campus, we're going to do a slow roll. I just want you to know that. We're going to start with our earliest learners. So our TK and K, and we're going to have them on campus first. And we're going to get the safety measures right, focus on them so that they don't have all the kids like clamoring around them, make sure they're safe. Then we'll come in with first and second, third, and fourth and fifth, and so on. Don't know exactly the scale of time. We'll work that out with you, but just know that's going to be a slow roll getting back on the campus so we can get it right. We don't want to turn school on and then right away have to turn it off, right? Because that disruption would be way worse. So just thank you. I know you trust us completely. We see it throughout. Just going to keep you posted. We're going to do some of these weekly Thursday meetings. The next one is going to be around the loft. You know, the loft is open Tuesday and Thursday, 1 to 3. And it's great. Some of our new families are coming in. They're like, Mom, just drop me off, pick me up at 3. I'll be good. So it's just been kind of fun to watch. So we'll be doing, there's so many rich resources that the collaborative is purchasing through 39 Days of Giving through the loft. All kinds of amazing books, new things around equity, Black lives, all kinds of things that are going to help support the enriching experience for you at home as you're teaching as well. So we want to make sure you have those resources early before school starts. So that'll be next week. So next Thursday, plan on a loft experience, and then we'll launch school, and our teachers are going to be interacting and getting you up to speed at the same time too. So I hope that helps, kind of gives you a scale that, you know, we're confident, we feel confident because we design with confidence and with the way forward. Cool. All right. Sweating in my house, I need to turn on the AC. So, kept it off to keep that sand so we don't have rolling blackouts. All right. Hats off to you guys. Here we go. All right. Let's rock and roll. Thank you guys.
Joe, the money's rolling in, man.
Hey, should we put it up? Let's see. I'm gonna refresh the screen. All right. Here we are, 47. I'm gonna push the refresh button. 3, 2, 1. Oh, my God. Look at that. Already went up $1,000 just right now. So you guys are amazing. Really hats off. I think this is going to be a rock and roll year, Josh.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do it. All right,
everyone.
We'll get this video out. We'll get the slides out. We'll get the funny little vignettes. Bob is really our key actor. So he's probably going to be in some store soon. You know, Bob.
$39 at a time, Joe.
$39 at a time. All right, guys. I hope you're having fun with us. That's what learning should be. It's like a family. All right. Have a great night.
Good night, all.